At the University of South Carolina, I don't know of anybody who's using embryonic stem cells. Many of us have used or use mouse embryonic stem cells. That whole technology was developed around mice because those stem cells from mice are, there's very straightforward ways of making a mouse that has a particular genetic change that you can introduce. So you can make a mouse that has everything is normal except one particular gene, a gene that you know is involved in colon cancer, for instance. And so you make those mice using mouse embryonic stem cells. We have a number of people who are working on cancer stem cells. In our center, we have an individual working on isolating and characterizing stem cells from breast tumors, but nothing with embryonic stem cells that I know of.
I'm again from Clemson University, and as the Delphine was saying, most of us work with adult stem cells. No, I don't know anybody has done embryonic stem cell research in Clemson. But I think what happens, I want to make a comment, because as we got restrictions in embryonic stem cell, actually people started thinking about other ways to get stem cells. So it actually is good for science that we actually come up with new ways to create. People got it in umbilical cord, you can get stem cells. Adipose tissue, you can get stem cells. Those ideas came out because there was a restriction on one side. So I think it's good for science. Science is always trying to find solutions for problems. And if you create challenges, I think you can get ahead in science. So that's what I think. Adult stem cells are getting ahead because of this restrictions we have.
But I would add one other thing about this, if I may, that even though many of us do not work with embryonic stem cells, all of us are concerned about these issues, not only with regard to our own particular principles, but also as scientists, because, as you could tell, the way the discussion goes, the way restrictions are put on things that affect research, if those decisions are arbitrary or inconsistent or have incongruities or something like that, it bothers us tremendously in terms of the ability to do good science. So even though we may not work on embryonic stem cells, we're very concerned about the discussion and the environment for embryonic stem cell research.
I think there's also a lot to be learned with some of the embryonic stem cell studies. You may not end up using them in a therapy, but there's a lot of science you can learn that then you can apply to some other system like the adult stem cells. So there's work out there that's important that somebody do it.